Is a moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment. And here, we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. And welcome to the show, everybody. Rochelle is here. Hey, Rochelle. How are you?
Hey, I'm very good. I am feeling very thankful, very grateful, and very still today. And the show we're about to do is all following in line with that. So I'm very, very excited. Would you like to welcome him?
No, I want you. You do such a good job at this.
Okay, well, it is my honor to announce that we have Spenser Strickland here on the show with us today. This man knows what it is like to push through circumstances, whether you understood it or whether you didn't, and where your mindset and your energy has the capability of taking you if you will lean into it. He has a website that is spsfinancialgroup.com, which we're going to talk about a little bit, but mostly about him and his life, because we all can learn something from it. And I think there's a lot of us that maybe are behind the scenes that can relate as well. So welcome, Spenser. Thank you for being here. How are you?
And while he's coming back, we need to say hello. Omar from Arizona says hello and nice program.
Yes.
And
I got kicked out as soon as you were doing the intro.
No worries. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
We are real good, and Spenser, you've got a company, and you work with life insurance, and you do all of that, and there are lots of aspects of life insurance that I don't think people really even know. And so we can talk about that a little bit, but mostly I want to talk about Spenser Strickland, the man, and the challenges that you have faced and you have beaten down over the last couple of years. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking early on before we jumped on here. It worked out. Today's actually the 2-year anniversary. I was diagnosed with cancer kind of unexpectedly. We were pretty blindsided by the news. Me being a typical man, I thought if I just ignored a problem, it would just go away. I had an ulcer on my tongue, and I just kind of pretended it wasn't there for a little bit, and it got progressively worse. And I convinced myself it probably wasn't. But I told my girlfriend at the time that I need to go to the dentist because I have cancer, and it was like 8:30 at night on the probably January 18th of 2024. So I went the next day, and the dentist was absolutely mortified. I'd actually never even seen the tumor either. I literally just, if I didn't look at it, it wasn't happening. It was my mindset with it. So, the good thing is I kind of already knew that I had it, so I wasn't really blindsided by it. I kind of warned my family and friends, hey, we have dentist appointments tomorrow. Like, this is not going to be good. And they kind of blew it off. But, I like that you brought up, being gracious and grateful. That's kind of a word I've been using over and over again, predominantly today as well. That was one of my affirmations when I woke up. And a lot of stuff, kind of a victim of circumstance, and I guess how you kind of put my situation. But that's life. You got to deal with it and face it head on. And I always viewed myself as pretty mentally strong and capable, but I didn't think I'd ever fight cancer or anything like that. I thought I'd lay down and just kind of let it get me. But as soon as I got diagnosed, I made the decision right then and there that I'm not gonna be a victim, and I'm gonna roll through it. It sucks. I lost some. I got my teeth literally knocked out of my mouth, figuratively and literally. They removed 13 teeth, half of my tongue, about 15, 20 lymph nodes right here in my throat. Surgery is pretty intensive, but I bounced back. I didn't know if I'd be able to talk again, and luckily I was able to teach myself how to talk. I think the biggest thing is every day is a struggle, but there's lots to be grateful for. You kind of find out who you are as a human being, as a man, when you're fighting something like this. You kind of have no control over. And, the treatment is brutal, but you can either lay down, just kind of let it happen to you. You can steamroll, right over it. I would convince myself every day that this pain's not real. Get through the next 24 hours and you're good to go. And I did that every single day for treatment, about 6 weeks. Like I said, it was brutal, but now looking back on it, I'm proud of kind of what I was able to overcome. And I hope to be a voice of reason for men, number one, to get themselves checked out. If you think anything is kind of off, you're going to checked out. I think I probably had torn meniscus in my knee, and a part of me wants to just not get it checked out. But I think I'm probably going to schedule a doctor's appointment after we hang up this phone call and kind of hopefully learn my lesson from what I've been dealing with the last couple of years.
Well, and you know what they say, because men don't like going to the doctor. We have a tendency to ignore stuff because I don't want to go to the doctor. I'll be fine. I'm tough until we're not.
No, I've got
And
yeah, exactly. I can educate myself and figure it out. I mean, I did their job for them. I diagnosed myself with cancer before going in. I just didn't know it was stage 4 at the time. But, like I said, I pushed it off for a while, but, I can beat myself up over it, or I can go out and talk to people and hopefully make an impact of getting stuff checked out. I mean, as of last year, 1 out of every 2 men will have cancer in a lifetime. 1 out of every 3 women will have cancer in a lifetime. My particular cancer, squamous cell carcinoma, is up 400% and some change in young adults under the age of 40 years old. This is predominantly a old person disease. Alcoholics, tobacco user. I'm talking like 70, 80 years of alcohol and cigarettes nonstop. But I'm lucky, and it chose me, so I got to fight that a little bit earlier than I, would have wanted to.
did you ever stop and go, okay, this is supposed to affect 80-year-olds and 70-year-olds that had a horrible lifestyle, and okay, God, why me? Did you ever say that?
Yeah, I mean, the why me thing is one thing I try to make sure I did not do, but a part of me was, going through the process of all the mistakes I'd ever made since I was, a child up until, as recently as a day before, a week before. What did I do wrong to kind of deserve this disease that might end up taking my life? I just met the absolute girl of my dreams, completely and utterly out of my league, and she stumbled in, and I kind of tricked her into date me. And, we were going out for probably about 2.5 months or so. And I get diagnosed and grabbed by the leg. He's like, you can dip, like, you can go. I respect it. I understand it. Like, I would leave too. But she didn't do that. And that to me was kind of a wake up call about how lucky and fortunate I was to not be going at this alone. And I mean, it was a driving force of not laying down and not being a victim really the entire time I was fighting the disease. She believed in me. Made me delusional enough to believe myself at the time. And, talking about cancer, mindset is, all of it. Your physical health is already obviously not doing super well if you get diagnosed with cancer, but the part you can control is your mental fortitude, your grit. And are you going to fight, or are you just going to let this, literally and figuratively eat you alive? And I just made the decision really right then and there that I wasn't going to lay down. I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm not going to have my girlfriend bury me. I'm not going to do that. But I did say, if I get chemo and radiation, then you have to leave. I'm not going to let you see me waller away and just wither up. I was training for a bodybuilding show at the time. I was about 215 pounds, and proud of my physique. I worked my butt off in the gym. 2-3 hours a day, every day for about 2 years straight, not even knowing what I was training for at the time. And I was mad. I was more mad about that, all the work I'd done in the gym being taken away from me. But, in my opinion, I was training for a disease I didn't even know I had at the time. They think I was walking around with cancer about 2 years before I was diagnosed. So that means the entire time I had cancer and was training as hard as I could every single solitary day with no excuses, I was fighting a disease I had zero idea about. And, whether you want to say spiritually, it's God, it's the higher power, it's the universe, something inside of me was triggering me to work harder, to do the extra reps, stay an extra minute, stay an extra 30 minutes, stay an extra hour. And that driving force just, is the reason I'm sitting here today. I fully believe that. I think I lost 1 total pound during chemo and radiation. They told me I'd be in a feeding tube, in a wheelchair, all this nonsense. And laughed at me. I mean, literally laughed in my face, telling me I'm delusional for thinking that I'm not doing a feeding tube. I'm not doing that. And I just made the decision right there. I wasn't going to do it. And I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. I can't thank God and my support system enough, but it literally is all in here. If you start giving up, your body feeds off of that. If you just give up about that much, then your body's going to shut down and wither away. And I was not going to allow that to happen.
Rochelle?
Yeah, it's so inspirational, and it is maybe a spark in a moment where we realize what we have to live for that we haven't seen the whole time. And for you, you talked about, how you kind of just didn't want to face it. What was it like when you fully did accept it and you let yourself feel it at every single point? Was it an emotional journey within inside of yourself as well that took you to be able to get through that?
So oddly enough, I don't really know how to explain it. The best way I can think to explain it is I was in the room when I got diagnosed, but it was kind of like I was in my fiance's shoes watching myself get diagnosed with cancer. I kind of disassociated from the situation so I could, I guess, really digest the news I was hearing. You never want to hear like you have cancer, and we asked him, hadn't done a biopsy yet, and she's utterly optimistic at all costs, or sometimes it annoys me, but I thank God that she was the way she is. I'm more of a realist, but I can be more of a pessimist, and I've tried to work on that a lot the last month especially, and I've seen a huge change in myself. So be delusionally optimistic is one piece of advice I have for anybody out there, no matter what you're facing, whether it's cancer, a breakup, a bad day at work, whatever it is, just be delusionally optimistic and grateful at all costs. And I think that is kind of what propels me to be sitting here today. But to go back to your question, I kind of numbed myself out of it, and it was just almost like I was an athlete growing up. It's going to be bodybuilding. I'm in sales, business owner. I'm very competitive, so I treated this like a game. Like it was my Super Bowl basically. Every day I had to show up. I didn't want to be there, but I had to do the work. I had to, drink the protein shakes, take the vitamins, do all the nonsense every single solitary day in order to literally survive that next day. And that's kind of, I guess, where I disconnected from it. I detached myself emotionally so I could dive at this and kind of logistically figure out how I was going to attack this disease and stay in front of it. And that's incredibly difficult to do, but when you're in the moment, you kind of have no choice. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want to think about maybe dying from the disease or anything like that. So I wouldn't let that trigger me. I was more guilty about dumping this on my friends and family and girlfriend of just like, I don't want y'all to have to take care of me. I don't want y'all to see me wither away and die from this or just struggle. I felt an overwhelming sense of guilt, which is very odd, but it's super common with people diagnosed with cancer. I feel guilt even today of the distraction and just putting it, on their plate, especially my parents. Like, they don't want a son that's stage 4 cancer. No parent should have to bear their children. And the fact that they were even having to deal with that, I still feel guilt to this day, and I'm trying to work through that. It's just a very bizarre feeling. I really don't know how to fully detach myself emotionally from it. But every day's a fight still. Even today, I have PTSD from it. I've kind of gotten over all of that, but you got to do your best to just detach from it emotionally. You're dealt these crap circumstances, kind of a bad hand, and are you gonna fold or are you gonna go after it? And I decided to get after it and never really look back after that.
Yeah,
that is simply amazing, because very few of us will have that conversation with our doctor in a setting of doctor's office when there's a commercial running right now and it says this wasn't they ran tests and they said this wasn't the income or this wasn't the outcome that we'd hoped for, but we're going to we have a plan and we're going to work together to make it work. Was that kind of when, because there's a difference between having cancer and having stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 cancer, right, in many circles, if you Google it, they'll say that's kind of a death sentence. But you weren't willing to accept that.
No, I was not going to let a Lyme-sized tumor in my 5'10" frame take me out. I was not going to let tongue cancer kill me. I have too much pride for that. I wasn't going to allow that small of a body part to kill me. So I took half the tongue out. And it's funny the way you worded that because, boy, my girlfriend at the time, her brother's a doctor and just an incredible human being. He's probably the smartest person I've ever met, but more than that, just a great human being, a great support system. We really didn't know each other that well. I met them one time, and then she has cancer, and she texted her mom and brother. It's like, hey, we're at the doctor's office. Like, we didn't get very good news, and that was really it. And I'll never forget kind of the breaking the ice and kind of I guess kind of woke me up where I actually legitimately like laughed. And it kind of brought me out of the cycle. And I took a deep breath, was like, I can do this. And, he's a doctor. So, how doctors are, very cut and dry. And that's what I want, though. I don't want to be, BS or anything like that. I'd rather be told, hey, you're going to die in 24 hours versus soft pedaling it. Let me know what I could face and I'll make the adjustments from there. And he's like, Spencer, you're going to die. And like a 3-second pause. And just like, but it's not from this cancer. And for whatever reason, I needed to hear that. He put it very simply, and it did make me laugh and kind of shoot me out of it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to beat this. Obviously, they told me don't Google anything, but your average 35-year-old doesn't get this type of cancer. So when I'm looking stuff up, it's like the 5-year survival rate's in the teens, but the average person gets this like 84 years old and overweight and not in good health, and I was an outlier. I belonged in no statistical category, so I wasn't going to allow myself to look what other people have done with the disease because I'm not other people, and I'm not going to die from cancer. I'm not ready to go yet. I wasn't ready to go yet, and I've been, literally to hell and back the last couple of years. But I know one thing: I'm more thankful and grateful for everything I've been through, sitting here right now today, than if I didn't get cancer. Because it made me grow up and be the man that I knew I could be. And I'm not going to lie to you, there's been a lot of struggle, a lot of strife ever since getting diagnosed where I would feel this, I wanted to be a victim. I was a cancer victim. I wasn't a cancer survivor. I had everything backwards. And I don't know where I got lost in just the insanity that is cancer, from chemo to radiation to opiates to just, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. It's depressing. It's hard. It sucks. But I got lost. I let cancer win. I beat the disease, but I let it wreck me mentally. But I decided literally about 10 days ago that I'm not doing that anymore. And I put my foot down, and I've risen to the occasion and overcame it. And I feel better and more confident. Right now today than I did when I beat the disease, and even when I did before I got cancer. It's very odd how stuff kind of unfolds the way it should, but it's been rough, but I'm coming on the other side, and I'm unbelievably grateful.
Well, and we need to talk about that a little bit when we come back from this break, because you also had the love of a good woman, and I'm here to tell you that I think had something to do with your rapid recovery. And Brachelle and I will be right back after this. And Brachelle's got a question or two or three when we come back to ask you, Spencer. So we'll be right back. Here's another point to ponder from Positive Talk Radio. What is the easiest thing to justify? It is a small transgression. The one no one will ever see, no one will ever know. The tiny exaggeration on the expense report. The extra minute you took on your lunch break, the packaging you tossed in the wrong recycle bin because it was closer. In those moments, the question isn't, will I get caught? The question is, will I know? It isn't about avoiding punishment. It's a silent agreement you make with yourself when you choose to do the right thing, to return the wallet, to fix the mistake, to respect the empty space. You aren't impressing the world. You're earning your own respect. That small choice, made entirely in private, is how you build a life you never have to look away from. The only audience that matters is you. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin. Brachelle is right there. And Brachelle, it's a remarkable story that we have unfolding before us today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And What's crazy to think about is how real it is and how common it is and how often this happens to so many people around us, and we have no awareness of it.
Well, and you have got people in your own life that are they're going down this journey. Um, and one is just getting started going down this journey. Oh, and Spencer's back. So it's great to
Sorry.
have him. Yeah,
You're okay.
that's quite all right. You're good. You're good, man. And so, Michelle, go ahead.
Yes, well, Kevin kind of touched on it, Spencer, but I really, really, really want to talk about how important it was for you having the support system that you did and why it was so beneficial specifically to you.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, men are pretty simple. A good woman and a good dog will get you through really any and everything. In my opinion, I had adopted this dog, Luther, very skittish, scared little boy, Shar-Pei, that was heavily abused when he was a pup. And I mean, we just got so unbelievably close during cancer. He was in my lap at all times, just complete safety net. He depended on me as much as depended on him, and more than that, you know. With Blair, she just kind of got thrown to the fire on it. And, you know, like I said, a lot of the guilt, I'm like, I'm not going to have this, I mean, wonderful, successful woman, you know, drop her life. She's incredibly smart and she's an attorney and just, I mean, she's a lot smarter than I am. I know that. And so I was not going to allow me to be a distraction and pull her away from her career aspirations. I wasn't going to do that. And I told her that you need to leave if I'm, I mean, putting a damper on that whatsoever. And so I tried to not be, you know, we didn't know if she'd have to be like a caregiver or, you know, what really was going to happen. But I, like I said, decided right then that I'm not going to lay down and allow this. She had to make me some milkshakes, and that's really about it. I fainted probably like 25 times. I would just be sitting there and just fall over a lot and then yell at her if she tried to help me up. But that's kind of where I drew the line. I wanted to be independent. I needed her emotionally, and I didn't need her to even say anything. Just having her presence next to me was the biggest comfort in the world. It's crazy, especially, you know, with her. I'm the type of person that likes to isolate, especially in hard times. I get through stuff by myself. You know, I'd warned her whenever we first started dating, like, hey, I do like you, but I don't like human beings that much. I'm going to be, you know, probably only see you 1-2 days a week. And I mean, we're inseparable from the second I said that. And then I got cancer. So it's like, okay, we're literally with each other at all times. But she just never, it never got old. We wouldn't have to talk to each other. She could be passed out next to me at 8:32 p.m., but it didn't matter. Just the comfort of having her there next to me was, I mean, a feeling I really can't like fully explain. It makes me emotional to even really think about it. But she still provides that same comfort to this day. And she has the power to literally not say one word to me, but it just feels like home. There's no effort there. I don't have to try to be a different person. We don't have to talk to fill, you know, blank silence or anything like that. We can just enjoy being with each other no matter what, even when stuff's not super fun. Like when I wasn't able to eat for a few months, I was miserable and I mean, in more pain than I could even describe. But as soon as she came home from work and walked in the door, I'd normally pick out a movie for us to watch. And, you know, I would get to eat like a piece of lettuce and my mouth be on fire. And I'd watch her eat dinner. And then we would just sit with each other. And I mean, it was an escape. Right? Whenever I was around her, I did not have cancer. I don't know how to explain this. All worry, stress, fear, all of it just left as soon as she walked in. I'd be in a panic before she get home. And I wouldn't tell her that or anything like that, but you know, it's heavy. It's hard to be just to deal with it. But as soon as she walked in, we tried not to really talk much about treatment or anything. She asked how I was feeling. It was all I always would say good no matter what. But she didn't have to do anything. That's the best thing about her. She doesn't have to do anything but be present, and she's really good about being present. And I mean, she cares about me more than probably any person I've ever met, and I can feel that even when she doesn't say anything. And it's I mean, it's unbelievable. I know I would not be here today if it wasn't for her.
Well, and I want to
I
say,
mean,
Spencer,
yeah,
because
I wouldn't have been able to fight.
she fought for you because you were willing to fight for yourself and she saw that in you. And it makes me wonder for you understanding the reclusiveness, right? You kind of just want to, I do the same thing. I'm like, I'm just going to run from this. Well, I don't do that anymore,
Right.
but I used to commonly. And if somebody were, okay, so imagine it and from the roles reversed in her perspective, that you guys are willing to help each other just through the act of understanding and love. Um,
Right.
what if knowing how it feels to be somebody that may want to run from that, if there was somebody who did have this diagnosis, or you knew of somebody who loved someone with that diagnosis and they did that, they pulled away, they didn't want to fight, they were afraid and they ran from it and wasn't allowing somebody just to be present, what advice would you give them to allow that so that somebody could be there with them?
So one of the first things I did when I got diagnosed was not look up anything about myself.
Oh,
And there he's back.
Okay. Oh, without sound. Spencer, we are unable to hear you. So if you can hear us, let's see if it catches up. We're not having any of that.
No.
Oh.
Let's bring him back.
Oh, this audio stuff is so irritating.
Spencer, we can't, my friend.
I think we froze on his side, so he is having what we had happen. Dun, dun, dun. Stick around, everybody. Don't go nowhere because we're just in the middle of this conversation, dealing with some human things.
And we'll take our halftime break a little early,
okay.
And so that he can, because I think he's going to need to go out and then come back in. So there he goes. And so we'll be right back, everybody.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
Are you looking for your daily dose of inspiration? Stay connected to all your favorite shows, music, and news with the Brushwood Media Network app. From Positive Talk Radio to Greatest Vibes Unplugged and so many more uplifting voices around the world, everything you need is right in one place. It's easy to use, too. Always available and designed to keep you inspired 24 hours a day. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com and download the app, and you will always have Brushwood Media available on your smartphone. Download it now and make inspiration and music and conversation part of your everyday. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin, and Rochelle's right there, and Spenser Strickland is our guest. He is a life insurance man, and he also has quite a story to tell. And Spencer, there's got to be a book that comes out of all of this at one point or another, I would imagine. And are you writing it now, or are you going to be writing it?
I finally started it. My friends basically said the same thing, that, I took care of myself, really stopped drinking, smoking, any of that type of stuff. And I still got cancer. But if anybody in our friend group were to get cancer, I'd be the last person they think, but also the very first person they would think would get it. Because that's just kind of my life. I normally always end up accomplishing what I set to accomplish. But my point A to point B is one of the most convoluted and insane ways to get from point A to point B you can imagine. So it kind of is on brand with my life. And that's part of the reason I think I was able to emotionally detach, where I would just kind of laugh and just say the word cancer out loud, because it's just so absurd that just, I've been sick since like 2015. Never got COVID, didn't get a cold, and just straight to stage 4 cancer. So yeah, I've started writing hard notes at this point now. I just don't really know where to begin and really what I want the story to be about. There's so many books out there on people beating cancer, but it doesn't get talked about enough. Number one, the struggles that your support system goes through having to watch it. But more importantly than that, once you beat cancer, now what? Your body's in fight or flight mode. I mean, legitimately in survival mode for, 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long it takes. And then once you get the diagnosis, like, hey, you're good, your body really doesn't even know what the hell to do with itself. It took me months to really come back down and find myself again. I'd say in reality, I really didn't find myself and get my confidence back. I'm still missing some teeth, but I ordered some last week. So unfortunately not here for this show, but I will at least have front teeth, and that'll help my confidence level a little bit. But I really cared about that at the beginning. I wanted to keep my teeth, so they told me I'd keep them, but they lied. And I get 13 taken out. So looking back on it, it's funny now, but I think the story needs to be about what do you do with your second chance at life, because I almost squandered it. I did everything in my power to waste my second opportunity at living life. And when you come close to death, it's one thing, but I would rather die living a life that I wanted to live than get a second chance at life and just, I mean, literally just piss it away. And that's what I was doing. I was stuck in this victimhood mentality of, woe is me and just all this garbage that I'm just ashamed of, like to the core. And people are like, we need to be more forgiving of yourself. And I understand that to an extent, but I was stuck. And the worst thing in the world, in my opinion, in life is to be stuck, especially in your mid-30s. You think you have life figured out. You're dealt a bad hand. What are you going to do? Are you going to lay down? Or are you going to fight back? And I lost the fight somewhere, within the last few months. And I God's my witness. I thank him for kind of waking me up and shaking the reality back into me. But now, I feel more clear-headed and happy and excited and confident for the future than I have really my entire life. And if somebody would have told me I feel like that today, even just a month ago, I would laugh out loud because I couldn't find it. You just get lost. It's really easy to get lost in the everyday stresses of life. And I mean, I got lost, and I'm ashamed to even admit that. But, with my story, I want to be completely honest and tell them about the horrible, horrible things that can happen, the great things, and then everything in between. And I think that's probably what I want the book to get across. Is to be vulnerable and look yourself in the mirror and face the reality. And I think I had a problem of kind of numbing myself away from the reality, and it just makes me sick to think about how much time I've wasted over the last few months. But I was able to shake myself up and stand back up for the 10th time, and I'm ready and excited about the future. I'm really, really gracious, grateful, and I'm just excited for what my life's going to be like during the second half of my life. Now that we got a second chance.
Well, and just to wrap up this cancer stage 4 diagnosis, you're now cancer free, correct?
Yep, I beat it. I need to get another PET scan here. I mean,
hold on, Spenser. I'm going to say this again. You're now cancer free, right?
Yes, sir. I beat it. Thank God.
And that means, and so now, and I've got a lot of things I want to tell you. First of all, we who have got a chance to meet you are very impressed with the man that you are.
Thank you.
And I also want to make sure that everybody knows nobody does this alone. No matter how tough you think you is, nobody can do this, and they need a great support system. And thank goodness that you had that support system, and that all of it is a recovery process, because there's mind, body, and spirit that all goes. You were at one point people were saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, how long do you got?" Until now you're cancer free. You lost some teeth. Teeth are replaceable these days. You can get them back. I've done that, haven't I, Rochelle?
Yes, and he loves them. They're good. Thank God we're in 2026, right?
Exactly. I'm excited about it. So it's a little thing. So 100%.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have got someone who loves you dearly. And when you kind of glossed over this, when you said, "Yeah, I passed out like 25 times," it's like I was sitting there, and then I would fall over, and it's like, and it's like, and she didn't run out of the room screaming. She was there for you, and do you know how grateful and lucky a man you are because of the people that you have in your life who love you and care for you. And now they are celebrating the fact that you are cancer free and on your way back to a full and complete recovery. Does that make you like have tears in your eyes?
Yeah, I was actually just talking about it this morning, texting her about that exact thing. And that's why I love that you brought up being grateful earlier, because I probably said that word 25 times today. I woke up at 6 a.m. and read stuff about being grateful. And I think a lot of my mental struggles where I was only counting bad things that happened, but overlooking the thousands of blessings that were right in front of my face this entire time. It's just, when you're going through the emotions and going through this brutal process, you do get lost in it pretty easily. And like I said, the overall feeling of guilt is one thing that's kind of stayed consistent this entire time. And I had guilt where I was like, I'm not keeping my mind to the bargain. I promised to God and to Blair and to myself that I would live a life I'm proud of after beating this. And somewhere along the way, like I said, I got lost, and I wasn't taking care of my responsibilities as a man and just the man that I am. I was disappointed in myself. But God gave me a second chance in life, and I told him this morning, Joe, I'm going to spend the rest of my life every single day showing my gratitude and paying you back tenfold of everything you've done for me, even when you didn't even know you were doing anything. That your presence alone is the reason I'm still sitting here today. And I just know I've got a lot of making up to do to a lot of people, but her in particular, where it's just, I'm going to live a life that we're both proud of. And at the end of the day, that's all I want to do is make her proud. That would be, the most fulfilling thing on earth. There's no dollar amount, no success in business, anything like that. As long as I can make her proud and live up to the potential that she sees in me, then at the end of the day, that's all I need and all I want. And that would be more than enough to be, unbelievably fulfilled.
And Spenser, I'm glad you brought this up, because there are a lot of people, and I've been studying a little bit about PTSD. There are a lot of people that have had a lot of trauma in their life. Some bury it so deeply they can't remember it. Others take a negative point of view towards it. And first of all, we need to give everybody grace. And please, sir, give yourself grace, because you cannot be disappointed in you. You're human, and you need to forgive yourself if there is any forgiveness that you need left, because you cannot feel guilty, because a lot of this was out of your control. Rochelle, do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And don't hold that guilt onto yourself. If you wouldn't hold that onto somebody else that you love, that you understand that it's an honor to get to be that person in each other's life. Right. And we get to choose that. And let that take you and soar, because I have to ask you, Spenser, what do you have planned? What are you excited for? Where do you have a motive or a motion to do something where you've realized your purpose now lies?
My purpose, one, I hate the word inspiring. Just, I love the word, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that inspire me, but that word's been thrown out quite a bit, pertaining to me and my situation. And in my opinion, I really didn't do much. I got dealt a bad hand, and all I did was just live and fight through. I don't think I did anything special. Everyone's got a story. Everyone has trauma. My trauma isn't necessarily, worse than anybody else's that I've met. Everyone has their own struggles, and I guess that's probably
other than the fact that you would pass out at the drop of a hat, and that you were going through chemo.
You were about to die.
So I couldn't control that part of it, and I think I did good about the stuff I couldn't control. But there was a lot of stuff I wasn't in control of. Putting in maximum effort, doing stuff that I would make myself proud. I make Blair proud, and I lost that edge somewhere along the way, and it's a punch in the gut, because I'm not that person. I've never been that type of person, and like I said, I've got a lot of making up to do. I've got to prove it to myself. So my biggest thing, like I said about the inspiring comment of, like I said, victim of circumstance, everyone to put it, but that's life. My life could completely change tomorrow. We don't know. So my biggest thing is, I want to be able to go to bed every night knowing that I tried my hardest at whatever's in front of me that day, and that I had a day that I'm proud of. And I've been really good about writing those down every single night, of stuff that I am proud of, stuff I could have done better, my expectations for the following day, the following week, reading affirmations, and like I said, tying and being grateful to an everyday part of my life, and not just doing it when things are going well. So I'd like to tell my story. I'm volunteering at Cook Children's Hospital, the cancer unit, and doing a couple things to kind of give back, because God gave me a second chance at this. I've got a story to at least tell, to hopefully inspire others, to show people, stage 4, stage 1, stage 2, it doesn't matter. Throw statistics out the window. You're fighting that battle that's in front of you. So take care of your business. don't let the noise and the distractions, keep you from living to your full potential. And I think I was doing that to an extent. So for the record, I want to say I have fully forgiven myself for that. But it took a while. It took a lot of work. It wasn't just as simple as like, okay, I'm over it. It wasn't like that. I mean, I had, throw religion out the window, but I truly think you have to have some type of spiritual connection, something bigger and greater than yourself to live for, and not just like an individual. Obviously, I would do, move mountains for Blair, anything that she would need, but deeper than that, in a spirituality standpoint, mindset, all of that ties into one, where I kind of have had a couple out of body experiences where I've like prayed for a sign, or just little things like that, and I've had those signs presented right out in front of me, so I know what I want to achieve, and that's giving back to people, not being selfish. I want to be the most selfless person I can be the rest of my life, because that's truly what makes me happy. Acts of service, and that's probably my biggest. That's like my love language. That's what I like doing for people, and words of affirmation, all that type of stuff. So that, and then I was one of those that thought life insurance was a complete scam before I got cancer, and I was signing my last will and testament, and realized like all I had to give away was my dog and my Rolex, and that was about it. That's about all I had. And so I was like, damn, I need to grow up. And so, I started studying and looking at life insurance when I was during chemo and radiation. And, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to get past it. Luckily, I wasn't wrecked financially, but if I would have had certain things in place, living benefits, if someone would just taken 5 minutes to explain what I was signing up for, that's deeper than just paying my, wife or mom or dad a paycheck when I die, it's a lot deeper than that. If I would have had stuff in place, it would have alleviated a lot of the stress I was going through. And so that's my biggest deal with insurance. There's a lot of bad actors in the industry. It's a rough industry. There's a lot of people that are, just out for money, and don't get me wrong, you make a great living doing it, but the money is going to come if you're a good person and you truly care about what you're doing. And I don't think there's enough people in the industry that take a step back and realize what we are doing for people, especially when they're at the most vulnerable. So I want to come at it, in a patient perspective. I'm talking to a 75-year-old, person. They're not going to have a lot of comment with me, but I've been close to death. I know how that feels. And like the thought about leaving Blair with nothing, made me feel like a failure of a man and not having stuff in place. It made me kind of wake up and get my stuff in gear. And all of it kind of rolls into one, like giving back and volunteering, counseling, all that type of stuff. Then what I'm doing for a living, I do have a chance to not only share my story, but to benefit and protect people when they're at their most vulnerable. And that's, to my core, what I love to do more than anything else. So I feel like it was kind of tailor-made for me to be in this industry. I'm confident enough now, and I can speak. And I was given, gifts of having a second chance to life. And like I said, I'm not going to squander it. So I do want to be unbelievably successful, but that's not tied to any dollar amount. It's tied to, number one, the satisfaction of other human beings. But am I doing the right thing when nobody's looking? Am I doing the right thing for said person that's right in front of me? Because everybody's situation is completely different. It's not just a one size fits all. And I get a chance to now, really live my dream, every single day, where I can get back. I don't have a boss. I can, I got to create my own website, do my own literature, all of that type of stuff. I'm in control of my own life, physically, mentally, financially, stability wise. I just couldn't ask for a better, a better future, as long as I do what I'm supposed to do and take care of my business. And I know, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm going to be very proud of myself for, coming that close to just giving up, even just a couple months ago, to where I'm at today is something bigger than me. I know that it's something I really can't put into words. It makes me emotional to think about just the ups and downs of life, and you throw cancer on top of it, and maybe not living up to your own standard and being the partner that the most wonderful, perfect human being you've ever met is right in front of you. You squander that opportunity, so you're not taking care of your business and not giving them my all at all times. I never want to feel like that the rest of my life, and I'm just not going to feel like that ever again. I've made that.
Well, Spenser, you have to promise us that you're already proud now, because that's what's going to get you exactly where you need to go.
Thank you, Rochelle.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
It's okay.
I'm almost there.
You have to be on the journey to have to understand why you were there in the first place. And when you're in the middle, it's kind of whooshy sometimes. So you'll figure it out. The fact that you're even willing to do that is enough. Yeah, we just had Gowdy in 1971. Hello, Dad. He's joining us in. As I told you, Spenser, so many people experience this throughout lifetimes, and you don't know who it is. You could be around them and you don't know what they're going through, and it can happen just within a split second, whether we acknowledge that right off the bat or not. But I want to take this last break, and I really, really want to deep dive a little bit into what it has been for you to learn and help other people through this life insurance thing, because I think you have some really amazing pinpoints that you can share with us so that people can maybe know some things that they don't sit down and take the time to tell us about. So, Kevin, do you want to take this break?
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Of course.
yes, indeed, and this I'm playing for you, young man. Here's another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. One man lost everything he thought to find him: his job, his marriage, even his confidence. At rock bottom, he realized the one thing no one could ever take was his will to rise again. Sometimes life has to break us open so we can discover the strength we never knew was inside. Remember, your lowest point is not the end. It can become the very foundation of your greatest comeback. And you are listening to Positive Talk Radio, where stories of hope come alive. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin McDonald, and Rochelle is right there. And we're talking with Spenser Strickland. He is the author of the New York Times #1 seller. It's been on the New York Times #1 list for 15 weeks. And it is just an amazing book about his cancer and his survival, and then his marriage, and then all of the great blessings that he's well, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
It hasn't happened yet.
But it's going to happen. I firmly believe, and I know, and I trust that all of that is laying at its feet in front of you, including the fact that this beautiful woman that believed in you and is there. Do you know, I just have to tell you, do you know how rare that is? I mean, I was married for 24 years. It was the best 6 months of my life. And it's to have someone, and Rochelle can attest to this, to have someone who believes in you unconditionally, who wants you to, and as long as you can be there, as long as you're going to be here, she's going to love you and take care of you. And now you have beaten this. And so now you can move forward and create a great life. And you're going to have a New York Times #1 bestseller. And you're going to do some extraordinary things in your life. And you need to, well, you don't need to do anything, but I would suggest that you don't feel guilty about anything. It happened. There's not a damn thing you can do about yesterday. You can do something about today and tomorrow, and that's what you can focus on. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I mean, it's funny you word it like that too, Stephen. Blair and I have been talking about that. We've been so in survival mode and so future focused for the longest time of not really knowing what tomorrow is going to bring. Where it's just, we were in a honeymoon phase when we first started dating. I mean, we couldn't get enough of each other. Don't get me wrong. In my opinion, we're still in that honeymoon phase. I just happened to get cancer at the same time. We got cheated out of a lot of like the little memories. We're having a lot of fun, super carefree, and then it's like we grew up real quick. But to me, that shows that what we have, I mean, we probably 25 years worth of trauma in a 6-month period. So it shows that we can really get through any and everything. But that's the beautiful part about life, and it is all about the journey. But you get caught up in that journey thinking about tomorrow. You lose it on today in the present. And I've been more guilty about that than anything. So we're trying to slow down and not even think about the next day, not even the next hour. We're living in the moment, moment by moment. I'm doing that with my job, my relationship. I mean, I'm getting to know myself again. After you beat a disease like this and the dust settles, you do look back of, could I have done X, Y, Z better? But at the end of the day, I beat it. I'm still here. I didn't falter to the disease, addiction, anything like that whatsoever. So I want to do a better job about staying in the present and loving the journey. It's never about the end game. It's about what happens along the way. And we've only been doing that for a couple of days, and it's been the most rewarding and most clear and best I've felt in years. And it's because I'm not thinking about what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm living for right there that second, and it's been wonderful. It's been liberating.
Rochelle?
Yeah, I'm just so glad that you have found a point that you feel purpose and within yourself, because your story and your example and now what you are going to be living energetically is where it all starts. It's like how you said you got a second chance. You get to start doing something and being something and creating impactful change in the world that you don't even know is possible yet. And I feel like I'm Kevin talking to my old self, because he used to tell me these things and I was just like, yeah, okay, I can kind of see it. I think you're a little far-fetched on that side, but how you said, it kind of all happened so fast, even though it was such a slow process.
Yep.
And then now it's like this just new. It's just everything is so new. And that's what's going to allow you to find what you haven't even realized yet. And maybe there's a reason. Maybe you got to have that cancer because there's going to be something down the line where that impact is going to save so many people for whatever reason. And being able to just remind ourselves of that too, whatever someone is going through. And maybe I'll relate this to my grandma, who I was mentioning. She was angry. She was very angry. She said, no, I don't need you to take care of me, and I don't want you to fester in my misery and all these things. But also, there was moments in time where we felt the same that she did, but for the opposite reason, because she was taking away our chance to share that with her. And then once those walls are broken down, it's like, do you ever feel like you're like raw? Like it's like this brand new, fresh, but because there's the past and there's the future, but now everything is here. What does that feel like in the sense of in the sense of being able to look forward now? Isn't that exciting?
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's better than even hearing the words that you beat cancer, to be honest with you. A man without purpose, I mean, it's just no way to live, and that's how I felt for a little bit. I just would wake up and not have any direction, not knowing what I wanted to do, just feeling this overwhelming sense of emptiness. And I'm a very passionate person. I'm probably a little over emotional and dramatic at times, but I like who I am as a person. I think that's
be dramatic. We're fully supportive.
Yes, Blair makes fun of me for it, but I know that's what she lives for. I need to be the dramatic one, but I wouldn't change anything. It took a while for me to dig myself out of the hole, but in the big scheme of things, it's a 2-week period for the rest of my life. I'm 35 years old now. Live to be 80 years old, so 3 weeks is not a long time in the big scheme of things for me to kind of recenter and refocus my energy on exactly what I want to accomplish. And it is a very freeing feeling because I do have the purpose and the driving force of not just wanting to be successful, like I said, but it's not tied to any dollar amount, which for a while, being in sales, I got promoted really quickly in a lot of jobs. And my happiness was tied to a dollar amount. It was tied to, the Corvette, the Mercedes, the materialistic type of things. And, when you're facing maybe a death sentence, none of that stuff matters. The stuff that matters is, do you respect yourself? Do you love the people that you've surrounded yourself with? And is this a life that you're proud of? And a few months ago, I checked 2 of those boxes to a T, but the third one, no, I was not proud of what I was doing with the opportunity and not living up to my potential. But once you kind of have your belly full and you decide, come hell or high water, I'm going to accomplish everything I've set out to accomplish. I'm writing these goals down every single night, every single morning, and I'm holding myself accountable to those goals every single solitary day. And it's just brought this resurgence and kind of have this life kind of, breathe back into me that I really can't put into words of how great it feels. I just, like I said, at the end of the day, as long as I'm let myself to make myself proud, but I can, get back to Blair and the people that were, stood next to me this entire time. I just want to live a life that I'm proud of, but I want to make her proud more than really anything else. And if I'm able to accomplish those 2 things, the money, everything else will take care of itself. It'll just kind of fall into place. But those 2 things, and then just making sure I'm right spiritually and recenter myself for, a month from now, a year from now, stuff could, be rough. Life is tough, but are you going to be grateful, thankful, and still driven when stuff is not going your way? And I think me having to go through what I've been through the last 2 years, it shows that yes, even if it takes a minute, everyone's got their own timing and everything like that. But I was able to overcome a lot of stuff that I would not think I'd be able to overcome. And like I said, I'm a better man because of it. I respect myself for getting through it. It took me, I mean, hours and hours and hours of work to forgive myself, but I'm finally at that point where now I can fully break free and move forward. And you really can't move forward if you're still holding any anger, animosity, or kind of holding yourself hostage. And that's kind of what I was doing. I was in a mental prison, and I finally was able to break out of it. So it's just, yeah, it's basically like being born again. This is like my third chance at life. So third time's a charm, hopefully. So I won't be having this conversation again. But for the first time in years, I'm confident, and I mean, I'm excited when I wake up in the morning. And that's, if you're listening to this and you're waking up excited in the morning and grateful when you go to bed, then you're more blessed than 99% of people. It's often overlooked, but I miss waking up excited about the day. And I didn't realize how much I missed that and how little it might seem, but in the big scheme of things, it's your happiness and your well-being. And I wasn't there yet, but I wasn't ready. I think I needed to go through hell to show me how great my life really was. And now I have the opportunity to live out my dreams. I'm going to fulfill, every objective that I have.
Well, and now that you've made that mindset shift, whatever life does throw at you, you're not shakeable like you were before. You have a foundation.
Exactly.
You can allow it to come and go as it is, but it will not move you in the same sense that it could before. Kevin, don't you think that this is so awesome? It's so hard not to swear. I get when I get passionate. I want to throw the F-bomb out there. But
Yep. And I just want to say this, Spencer, that two things. Number one, did you ever watch Braveheart?
Yeah, of course.
He said in there, not every man dies, but not every man really lives. And that was a great moment in time. But also, I want to submit this to you, that your journey after you've been cleared is going to be more impactful in the book that you're going to write that's going to be the #1 bestseller than the actual cancer journey, because cancer affects a lot of people, but it's how you respond, how you become the man that you were destined to be, and to let go of the guilt and any shame or any issues, to become, and then you become a shining star for people to that recognize your worth. And by the way, your can I call her your fiance?
Yes.
She's already horribly, extremely, positively, wonderfully proud of you.
Amen.
I know that, but I still have a lot of work to do, and I can't.
Would you?
No saying but. Don't say but. You mean and.
No. And I'm getting to see. I'm teaching her. She's not gonna let you. She's not gonna let that go, because it's
Nope.
You are. By the way, you are a sensational human being. You are born great. You are living a great life. And congratulations on the man that you are. And Rochelle, we need to go. And darn it all anyway, Spencer. These are too much fun. But let's get his website out again so that they can go and buy some life insurance from him. And because it does, and he can explain it to you far better than we can. There's a whole bunch of different reasons other than just to get a paycheck when you're dead, because it doesn't matter when you're dead if you get a paycheck, but you can apply that in your life in a myriad of different ways. And you need to call him so he can help you with that. How do they do it?
I love talking about it. My biggest thing is providing free education. Literally, if y'all just have any questions whatsoever, I thoroughly enjoy what I do. And, you can find stuff on ChatGPT, but having it actually explained to you thoroughly, that's what I love to do. I love research. I love being able to explain things. So anywhere I can help anybody, even if you have questions, I would love to talk to y'all about it.
And just to confirm, reaching you, Spencer, at spsfinancialgroup.com is the best way to do so, yes?
Yes, ma'am. My direct telephone number is on there as well. My email, too. I'm basically available from about 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. So, make sure a 4-hour window. You can't call me. Other than that, I'll be available.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Spencer.
Thank you.
Seriously, just for being the person you are, for being courageous and chasing it straight on. When a bull is usually running at you, you run away, but not you.
Not
So
fun.
we're here for your journey. We'll pray for you day in and day out. Please
y'all
go
so
and
much.
thank your woman for being who she can be for you, and an inspiration to the rest of us to be for each other.
Yes.
It's truly an honor to have had you on the show, and I can see exactly why you have beaten cancer, and I can already see how much your life is going to flourish, and we're so excited, and we are so proud of you. So thank you.
Thank y'all so much. Words mean a ton. I'm extremely grateful for this conversation. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully, we can reconnect 6 months to a year or so, and I can
Yes,
update on
because you're gonna have a book out.
yes, absolutely. Let's do that. I'll put y'all in the forward of it too. That y'all want
Perfect.
to finally do it.
Okay.
And remember when I said Spenser Strickland, the New York Times #1 bestseller? We're
Yes,
going to
sir.
send you that, and so that you can replay that every dang
Yeah.
day,
Let's
because
do it. Yeah, hold me accountable. Let's do it.
so Spenser Strickland has been our guest, and Michelle, his website again is
His website is spsfinancialgroup.com. Go check it out. I know there is plenty of people that will hear this that can help either themselves or someone else. Thank you, Spenser, for creating that
Thank y'all.
and spending this time with us. Thank you, Kevin, for making this possible. And as always, we love you guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back again for another great show.
Thank you guys so much. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another, because each other's all we've got.